welcome back to the Maryland Benchmarks of Success. I'm your host, Richard Reinhardt, and again with me today is my special guest from the Department of Labor, Licensing and Regulation, Secretary Kelly Schulz. Madam Secretary, thank you so much for being with us today.
Always good to be here. Thank you.
The last time we spoke, we talked about focusing our attention on the employers and the job seekers. I'd like to pivot the conversation, if I could, to Annapolis and the State House. You know, in the past 6 months, as we saw, the governor announced the state plan. It was approved by the federal partners back in July. We've seen this roll out by this huge initiative called the Benchmarks of Success. In the 6 months, we've also seen a lot of changing that's going to be happening this upcoming session. So I want this opportunity for our state leaders and our new leaders coming into Annapolis to know a little bit more about what the WIOA plan is and provide a little bit of guidance in terms of what the Maryland's combined plan is.
Sure.
And I think the best person to answer these questions would be the Secretary of Labor.
Well, I'll give it my best shot. First of all, I do know that WIOA is Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act, and that was an act by Congress that was enacted in 2014 so that each of the states can work internally to create a new workforce system. So when we came into office about 3.5 years ago, what we knew then was we were going to have to work to decide what we wanted to do in the state of Maryland to be inclusive of those other state agencies and those other programs where we have a different type of a demographic that our state plan, our workforce plan is going to look at outside of maybe what we have typically worked with and reported on with the U.S. Department of Labor here at the Department of Labor Licensing and Regulation. So the first important role was to say, who do we want to be inclusive of this? Do we want to have a combined plan which is going to bring in those other agencies? And we said definitively yes. That was definitely what we wanted to do. It was the governor's purpose from the very beginning of his administration to be able to make sure that we broke down silos. And not just in workforce, and this was for all agencies and in all types of policy-making decisions. So obviously with this first big policy-making decision that we had to work with here, we said, who can we bring in and what is our ultimate goal? The ultimate goal of a workforce system is to be able to create opportunities for all individuals in the state of Maryland, for all industries that need a workforce. So by doing that, it was a natural decision for us to bring in the education component, the human services component, and to make sure that everybody was going to have the representation of a qualified, productive resource like workforce development and training.
And this new revised plan is actually continuing that legacy by expanding the cross collaborations and being even more inclusive with more state agencies. Can you tell me some of the new partners you're bringing in?
Absolutely. So it's really exciting. Particularly, I'll just say this for the Department of Labor, Licensing and Regulation right now. Our original plan did not include the unemployment insurance division. And it was very, very important, particularly because workforce development and unemployment falls under the roof here. It took a little while. Not every state has taken on that challenge of bringing in those two organizations to work completely with each other. But we have had a mission for the last 3 years, and that is to create a division of reemployment, to make sure that those individuals across the state that are on unemployment have those immediate opportunities to the resources that we're able to provide them with. So they are one of our new partners in the combined state plan, so we're very excited about that, as well as our senior community. And the senior community has been a big part, and as we know, is going to be an integral part to filling some of those positions that are working across the area. And then with the Department of Housing and Community Development, their program that they work in order to help to relocate those that are maybe dislocated workers as well, and they fit very nicely into our state plan. And so when we're talking about the holistic way in which we can help our citizens, our population that is in need of work, going back to work, we have brought in even more partners in order to be able to make that a success.